Our favorite subject, new forms and form changes. Twice a year we get them. We get them in June and we get them in December. This is the June one. Couple things, the additional signature addendum. So say you have 3 sellers and you're tired of trying to cram all the things onto one form. The additional signature addendum has always been there. In the past, they have required an additional signature addendum for each document. Now they've made it pretty to where you can do multiple forms on one additional signature addendum, but the rule is those forms all have to be dated the same date. So if it's something the seller did in one lump sum that's all dated June 5th, then you're good to use one ASA for June 5th forms. So it has to be the same date group forms together. Can't be one from January, one from June, one from February kind of thing. The only other change is if you are using the ASA for the purchase agreement, there is now a separate page for liquidated damages and arbitration. That has to be initialed if you're using the ASA form for the purchase agreement. Yes. No. I'm not sure if you check the box for purchase on page 1. You know how sometimes it auto-populates the form that you need to go with it? I'm not sure if it does. If it doesn't, you're going to need it.
And when did this go into effect? Last week?
Yeah, last week. So if you've already done one and it's for the purchase agreement, just have them sign the liquidated damages separately. Okay. Next form is the addendum. They've made some changes to the addendum. Basically, on here now, it says this is not to be used for the SPQ or TDS. You know why? Because there's a new form that if there's changes to the SPQ and TDS after it's been filled out, there's a form for you to make any changes that are necessary. And that's in this package also. It is the amendment to prior, amendment to prior disclosure. I don't know if is that in here? Okay, thanks, sorry. Right, so there's that. And also, I just want to further explain this. An addendum is for additional information. It is not to change the terms of a purchase agreement. So say you do a request for repairs and you agreed that there's a $5,000 credit. That doesn't go on an addendum. That goes on an amendment to existing agreement, an AEA. So the addendum is not to change terms. It's just for additional information.
Like what?
So say you're writing the purchase agreement and you want to talk about that, there's not enough room to write that the buyer is related to the agent. It's just for additional information.
So it's
almost like the text overflow addendum.
Okay.
That will automatically populate. This is just for something that if it's a section that doesn't populate a text overflow.
My counteroffer in front of the seller and I run out of room, this is what I use.
Yes, correct. Yeah, 100%. Okay. So that's the addendum. Next, seller in possession advisory. They've just done some, this is a new form because if you do have a seller in possession, now they've got another disclosure to go with it. Okay, so if your seller is staying in the property after close of escrow, this form goes along with it. There's a new rental property owner advisory. This is going to be required on all our leases. Okay. It's a good 3 pages long. Yes. Anything new. Anything new. Okay. Yeah. And then there's the amendment to the prior disclosure that I was talking about. That's for the TDS and the SPQ. And then the VHA amendatory clause, they've added a paragraph in here because I don't know how many of you, if you've got FHA and VA offers, this automatically populates when you check that box with the purchase agreement. But there's usually a counter, and the counter changes the price. So now the information on this doesn't match the purchase price of the property. So basically they've added a paragraph that says if after signing it, the purchase price increases, buyer and seller agree to sign before close of escrow a new amendatory clause that reflects the final purchase price. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Yes.
Sorry, Carrie, on the rental property owner advisory, that's for investor clients?
That's for leases.
Leases only.
Yes, correct. Yeah. Any questions? Cool.
Awesome. Thank you, Carrie.
You're welcome.
How many of you are potentially interested in doing any type of property management whatsoever in your business?
You
Okay.
know, we also should talk about the whole escrow, new escrow.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, another thing, if you guys saw my email that came out last Friday, this is urgent, talking about commission disbursements and escrow. So the DFPI and the DRE came together and decided that commission disbursements, if they're being submitted to escrow, are against the law. So basically, if you would like a commission disbursement done on your listing for you to get paid directly through escrow, there's now a mandatory thing where it's kind of an additional commission instructions right before close of escrow that will come from escrow that states the breakdown of the check and who is getting paid how much. So it'll say, you know, Ben Schaefer's getting this, his TC is getting this, and the Remax Terrasol is getting that. And it breaks it down. The seller has to sign it and the broker has to sign it. If you do not want your seller to sign that document, the check will get sent to us and we'll disperse the checks for you. But that's the new law that has gone into effect. It was very confusing. The bulletin they sent out to everybody made it sound like it was just for personal expenses. I talked to our attorney, and our attorney called the commissioner with DFPI, and he said, nope, it is not just for personal expenses. It's for any breakdowns of checks to pay anybody but the broker. So agents, TCs, anything like that. Yes.
So what does it look like if we let it roll to you then? Do you disperse the check directly to us?
In
Yes.
like 6 months, we send out a check.
In 6 months, after we've collected some interest.
That they inquire directly into your company application, something like that. Do you still do that, or does
Um,
that happen then?
That would not happen. Yeah. And so if you want it dispersed by escrow and escrow to wire to you, then you have to have that additional amendment. Yeah.
Will that come from escrow?
It will come from escrow. And I'm going to tell you right now, a lot of escrow companies don't know about this yet at all. So
Carrie had a talk with an escrow officer yesterday who wasn't aware of these changes in their DFPI escrow. So they, for
So-
some reason, are operating
Which-
current.
you know, if they're doing it right now, it's going to be fine. But when they go to do their audits at the end of the year, like everybody has to do, that's when they're going to get in trouble and find that nobody's got these documents done. Yeah, sorry. Let me get Richard first. Richard?
Is it buyer and seller have to sign, or just?
It's whoever's paying the commission. Yes.
So I heard you say real quick in there, unless it's just, the office, did you say that, I misheard or something? So if it's just my check and Remax check.
It still has to have the any breakdown if it's anybody other than just the office.
So to be compliant, when we're offering an offer and we're not charging that escrow, can we have the form to take in that, so that we can have that seller sign, or that file is compliant?
Well, at that point, you're not the seller. You're not going to know the breakdown of the check. Not really. Like we do the CDA right before closing. So when I do the CDA, I mean, it's not going to be correct. Well,
Are you
okay.
talking about having a,
I'm confused with what you're
when,
asking.
when another escrow company is closing the
If
escrow?
okay, so if the buyer's agent submits a CDA, they're going to have one for their commission, signed by the seller.
seller's gonna have to sign.
Correct.
My breakdown's gonna be.
Correct.
But if they don't do that, should I be asking for a copy of that so that I make sure that the file's in compliance?
Yeah.
I
So
mean,
we should have a generic form.
no, there's no
No,
generic
no.
form because it has to be specific to each transaction because it's going to say the total commission amount.
Right.
It's going to say Remax Tiffany's getting paid this much, Shauna Riggins is getting paid this much, Lori Crispin's getting paid this much, your transaction coordinator is getting paid this much.
Escrow should be sending that out on your
Escrow will
files.
send it out. It's
Yeah.
not us. We don't do that.
Not all escrows solve any rules.
Correct.
Well, and that's upon
That's on
you
them.
to- yeah, it's
That's
upon
on them.
So I'm not.
You're not responsible for it.
So if they break us down, we don't care? So if they break us down and pay us normally, we don't care that they're not in compliance?
With your CDA.
With our CDA, no.
So I say, hey, Carrie, we got a bunch of goofballs.
On the other side,
You can still send them a CDA and let them break it down.
yeah, you can still send them a CDA and break it down. And if they don't require it, that's on them.
Yeah.
But they're gonna get in trouble for it. And I can guarantee you, this is gonna start rolling in for all of the escrow companies as they become aware of it. It's just a matter of time for them to catch up, unfortunately.
So are you gonna post your vacation schedule?
Yeah, I usually do. And as you all know, I never truly take a vacation where I'm completely unplugged. So I do get to that. So any questions on that? I know it's kind of a pain in the butt, but we'll get through it. It's just like any other change. We'll get there.
All right. Thank you, Carrie.
You're welcome.
So going back to what I was mentioning earlier, for those of you that may be interested in doing property management or seeking that as an additional income source for yourself, let me know. If I can get 5 or more, then I'll go ahead and do a class on it for you so that you are in compliance and know all the ins and outs of the business. So, all right. You don't need to let me know now either. So let's get on to our guest today, which is Kim Yang. She's not a boast of herself, but I will for her. So I spent a little time doing some research as far as her award accomplishments and whatnot. So let me go through it with you guys, if you don't mind. A couple minutes. She was licensed in 1990. She was joined RE/MAX in 95, which gives her 30 years with RE/MAX this year. Welcome. In 1999, she achieved the Hall of Fame Club, which is $1 million or more in commissions. A fun fact that during that time period in the 90s, home prices started off at $242. And by 1999, they had increased to $284. So that's not a lot of commissions, right? Back then, and I think it was at $284. It was $8,500 in commissions before your office split. So it's a lot of transactions to accomplish that number. So in 2010, she received the Lifetime Achievement Award, having reached $3 million plus in commissions. 2011, she was awarded the RE/MAX Circle of Legends for being with RE/MAX 10 plus years and $10 million in commissions. By the way, she doesn't do loans on personal loans and stuff, so don't hit her up for any money. In 2024, she ranked number 9 in California for an individual agent, so it's quite an accomplishment. She currently ranks number 22 in the world for RE/MAX and 13th so far in the first quarter of the year for California. So, and right now she's on track to hit Diamond Club for 2025. And if you don't know what Diamond Club is, let me tell you. Yeah, Platinum Club, just so this is an accumulation of her awards that she's accomplished. Platinum Club, she's hit that 8 times. That's 250 to 249. Oh, I'm sorry, 250 to 499. Sorry, my mistake. Late night. Chairman Club, she's hit that 9 times. Titan Club, 2 times, and the Titan Club was only implemented as of 2022 for individual agents. So between those other years, she would have achieved that as well more times. And then Diamond Club, she's hit that 5 times and on track to, like I said, to hit that again this year. So anyways, let's welcome Kim Yang. Let me give you this.
I'm gonna stand because I wore dress.
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
Yes, yes. Okay.
If you don't mind, I'll sit so I'm at your
All
level
right. Yeah,
or
it's fine.
closer to
Yeah.
it. Okay, so let's start off. What were you doing before you got into real estate?
I graduated university, got married, so unexpectedly. Met my husband. I was on track to go to law. Well, I studied sciences in college, but decided I didn't want to be a doctor. So then I was going to be a lawyer. Signed up for Stanley Kaplan, got married, and then I got pregnant. So then I thought, oh, I can't go to law school now. Had a baby, I stayed home for a year, watched Oprah, went shopping. No, I really did those days, and I thought, I'm going to lose my mind. It was like a lot. I thought, this is so hard staying home all day with the baby. So what can I do to get out of the house? And I thought, I really, love looking at home. So I said to my husband, can I go get a job and maybe become a real estate agent? He said, sure, go do it. So I signed up for a 2-weekend crash course in the Valley, Saturday, Sunday, 2 weekends in a row, took my real estate test, got my license. But then I had lined up a buyer before I was licensed. So,
Already working it.
Yeah, those days you get mailed your license. There's no internet, no checking online. Got my license. I am going. So showed a property in Fullerton. Showed maybe 3 houses. I was so brand new. Okay, I mean I had done nothing. I was so brand new. So show property, and then when it came time to write an offer, I had joined Tarbell. I said to my manager, I don't know how to write this. What do I do? So we wrote it together. Those days you went and presented the offer in person.
Which location were you at?
I was Beach Boulevard, where Shirley
Oh,
did
okay.
not report me because she kept the franchise money. So I was actually with Remax way before 1995. It was, yeah. So anyways,
Oh, okay.
Went to the seller, presented the offer. And first thing I said is, you know what? I'm going to put it out there because it's going to look really obvious that I'm new. So I said, Mr. and Mrs. Johnson, it's my first offer I've ever written in real estate. I have my manager to help me. And if I slow down or don't know something, forgive me. So I went through the offer shaking and like being super nervous, presented the offer. And then they said, step out for 5 minutes, which we did, came back, and I got an accepted offer. So
Nice.
that's how my career started.
Very good.
Yeah.
So what year did you join Remax?
89, 90, 91.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
91.
Shirley
Oh.
was very much in trouble with Remax, and she was very much known for not joining her agents into the Remax system and collecting their money.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it was one of those.
Yeah.
Horrible. So Remax, corporate had that as their date or her
Mhm.
date.
That's,
Right.
that's the day we joined her when she came to our office at Remax.
Oh, scandalous.
Yeah. Very, very much.
There are,
scandalous.
and by the way, there are some owners that are in North Orange County that operated that way. Brought on a bunch of Remax agents and weren't reporting them, so they didn't have to pay any dues in anyways. They're no longer in operation today, but it was very recent. So, so why did you end up choosing Remax at the time?
Oh, so we used to go to weekly board meetings, round tables. Everybody showed up. You said hello. So Gary and Gary, very tall, right? And I'm this big. I used to look at him and go, hey, you know what? They look really dynamic. They're like a beautiful partner couple. So no, I did. And so I chose Remax about a year after Tarbell because we heard back then Remax is where the professionals go. And you know what? One thing that I consciously did from the beginning is you cannot achieve great success without sort of looking at the overall landscape. Take yourself out of it. Look at it from the top perspective and look down, and you just see a lot more. So did I know a lot? Not really. But I had done maybe first year, maybe 6 or 7 transactions, which was great back then, right? I thought I'm going to go to Remax. So I joined the closest one with Shirley, but then I knew Shirley was scandalous. So then whenever we went to the board meetings, I would notice Gary and Gary. So guess what? 1991, I literally walked into Cypress office, knocked on the door and said, Gary and Gary, I just think you guys look really beautiful at the meeting. And if it's doable, I kind of want to join your office. So that's how I came to Remax Tiffany.
That's a long time.
Yeah, it's a long
Wow.
time.
Yeah, we worked together for
30 some odd years, yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, so in the beginning of your career, what were your biggest struggles?
Biggest struggle in the beginning up until maybe 1994 or so was chasing that dollar amount. So I'll tell you what that means. So I thought, hey, if I can do 750,000 in commission, I think I would have achieved, great success, and I think I can call myself a real estate agent. So for a couple of years, I thought I need to gross that commission, you know? But you know what? I'm working, working, working. The minute I took my focus off of that money and just concentrated on doing a great job, the very next year, I think I went over $1 million or something. It was like nutty. So that goes to show that in as much as our industry is wonderful in paying us a great deal of money for what we do, we really have to own what it is that we do and love what we do. I think it goes back to your passion comes through, your sellers and buyers appreciate you more. The minute you say, I love what I do, regardless how much money I make, and it's going to show in your work and your commitment. However, I am extremely protective of the compensation. So if a seller says, and this has been throughout my career, if somebody says, hey, you know what? So-and-so office is doing 1% or they're doing 2%, but they have promised to kick me back 5,000 after close of escrow. Thank you very much, seller. I'm not the agent for you because I don't want to work 5 times as hard to make the same amount of money. So one side of me says, I really love what I do and I'll do anything to satisfy a seller. The other side says, you know what? I know what I'm worth. I know what my time is worth. And therefore, given equal, I'm going to work with a seller that says, you know what? I'm going to pay you what you're worth. Okay. Sometimes they'll go, with this new commission disbursement instruction, I can negotiate your compensation. And I've interviewed 4 agents and they'll do it for 1.5% or 1% or whatever. You get what you're paid for. I want to look at you. I want you to look at my record history in real estate. I have never been part of any arbitration or litigation ever. Knock on wood. I'm very proud of
Thank
that.
God.
Look, and you know what? I've not sold a listing. So as you see me in front of you, I hope you feel some of the energy that I'm going to bring to your property. And I would like our office to earn 2.5%. Sometimes it's 3, because if I know it's like labor intensive, I'm not going to do it for 2.5. And so again, we need to, as a group, be conscious of what it is that we're doing and be very protective of our compensation. If this trend of, oh, I'm going to write an offer and put in there 1.5% to buyer's agent compensation because I want to be more competitive. Yes and no. Eventually, 6 months, a year, 2 years down the road, guess what? Every agent's getting paid 1%. What are we doing? 3 times, 5 times more work to earn the same amount of money. And you know what? I'm just too old for that anymore. So no.
Doesn't look a day over 21. Okay, so you had mentioned earlier that you had reached the $1 million mark very early on in your career. What did you do to achieve that? How did you get there so fast?
Lots of referrals, lots of repeat business. And the thing that sort of pivoted me into becoming like a large producer, I saw trends before they hit in a way. And I had a seller in 1995 or 6 was getting foreclosed on her property in Torrance. Lender was Wells Fargo Bank. And I thought to myself, you know what? I can go on listing appointments, one a week or, 2 a month or whatever, but how can I get multiple listings, maximize on my time and do lots of deals? So when that notice of default showed up and I knew the lender was Wells Fargo Bank, I thought, what can I do differently? Again, it's setting yourself apart and doing something out of the box. There's no rule for this. Okay, so back then, you didn't have to have your background search done to get into a bank, major bank office. So the very next day, I had called the asset manager. Oh yeah, we'll see what happens. It comes back and we have a huge department with all the asset managers. So I said, okay, thank you so much. Next morning, I got on the plane with no appointment, went to Wells Fargo Bank and knocked on the door and said, you know what? I came to see, Betty White. And so then she comes out and she goes, oh my God, I just talked to you yesterday. I go, you know what? I know phone conversations are great, but given the opportunity, I wanted to just say hi to you. So here I am. She was like astounded, right? She took me around all the managers. So then again, this is almost like a fairy tale in a way, but this is a true story. I came back that day, had a meeting, came back down. Within 2 days, it wasn't Betty that gave me the listings. Mike Smith, I had multiple listings all at once. Okay. And then, so it's again, looking at the marketplace, looking at how can I maximize on my time and listings and kind of finding a niche and doing that. I know it's difficult because, we have so much competition, but I truly believe that if you're, number one, you can be cute, that's great, okay? But you better know what you're doing. By that, I mean, be skilled, be the best person when it comes to writing that offer, know how to negotiate, know how to protect your clients. It's just to say that, I look wonderful, I'm sweet, and that's not going to cut it. You truly have to know your craft and be accountable for it. It's a combination of all those things, I think.
Yeah.
Okay?
Great job thinking outside the box to get
Mhm.
out there. So, okay. You were doing the REO business. How did you pivot when that was drying up?
So when it dried up, I thought, okay, what can I do now? Certainly can do more listings, traditional way. But the minute that slowed down, and I thought, I'm in this business, so I might as well practice or invest back into the craft that we enjoy every day. So you know what? I just drove around parts of LA. I would just go look at properties. And in process of doing so, you become more aware of what's out on the market. Okay. And those slowest years are the years that I purchased most of my income property. Okay. It's great that we work so much and for so long and earn our compensation. But at the end of the day, if you plan out property, I believe that real estate, and it's proven, it will appreciate over time. And why not put our monies into our industry?
So, are you saying you were your biggest client?
Yes, I was. I was. I was.
So I
Okay.
have to attest to this, because on Thursdays was our caravan meeting,
Mhm.
if you remember correctly. And Kim was like hair on fire. So she would go to the board, the broker previews, hair on fire, she would go to every single one. Be like, hi Kim, bye Kim, off she would go to the next one, and off she would go to the next one. And she knew her neighbor, she knew everything that was on the market. As soon as it came on the market, she knew what it was. Because she went to every single one of those things. And there was a lot of the big guns at the time that did the same thing. The Groats did the same thing. They would get in their car, they'd get their list, and that was part of their craft, so that they would know their industry. And Kim did. And I remember when before I started buying property, she showed me one of her checks. This is why I do this, Lori. And I went, holy shit, you get that every month? She goes, yep.
Nice.
Okay, I guess I better get on the bandwagon.
So, what did you do early on when the REO portion dried up and you were now have to refocus who your client base is going to be and generate leads? What was your lead source back then when that?
Well, again, repeat business and referrals, right? Yeah.
So all your REOs,
wasn't-
maybe
yeah.
buyers that came in and went through you, you maintained
Right.
the relationships?
Right, exactly.
Nice.
Or other clients over the years that I had helped.
I mean, how many times have agents closed on a transaction where they may have double-ended it? They focused more on the seller side and not the buyer side and disregarded them after they close, and then years later they go to sell again, right?
Correct.
All right, good job.
Correct.
Did you use any particular systems, follow-up systems that you had?
No, my follow-up system is do it when you're in front of them. So great to say that I'll send out monthly letters or Christmas cards. I've not done any of those things over the years, but when I am in front of them, I want to be the best. I want to be most transparent. I want to win them so that, you know what, even if it's 5 or 10 or 15, 20 years down the road, they call me. And I mean, that's what I do.
Okay.
I hate to say, you know what, I'm going to give you 10 things to do, but it's really when you have an opportunity to be in front of them, do an amazing job. Don't do anything less.
Interesting. So nothing of what you did really is like there was any magic tool. It was more just you and your interactions with them.
I would
That's
have
the-
to say that.
yeah.
So an example would be a seller. Seller is in Seattle. They're going to come down this week, but I, became aware of the property 10 days ago. They said, let's meet today and we'll go through what needs to be done and we'll get it done as soon as possible. I said, you know what, why can you just get me a key? So they did. I went in, I saw a number of things that needed to be done. I made a list, called the handyman, got a price, and said to the seller, I'm going to do this for you. I just need your permission. So I spent maybe $850, right? all done, pictures taken. I made sure the lawn's green, increased the water. They're like, you did all that? Okay, so if you do this for a seller, do you not think they're gonna call you back when there's another property?
Yeah.
So,
I remember one time I was underneath the sink changing out plumbing for a client, and the couple who just bought the condo were behind me eating dinner, and they're laughing. They're like, I can't believe our realtor's in here doing the plumbing work. So that's Tuesday.
Mhm. Oh, Tuesday, okay.
Yeah, hilarious. So anyways, 25 years later, they're still with me, right? Anybody have any questions so far? All right, moving on. So what are your daily habits and routines that you do, like when you wake up in the morning to get
Oh,
yourself
boy.
started for the day? Work-wise.
Work-wise. Okay, so work-wise is work-wise, but I sort of have, I wake up maybe around 6:30. Takes me a little while to wake up. I can't just randomly do work, so I have to have my days planned out. So my usual day looks like I wake up 6:30, fully wake up by 7:30 or 8. I might do a little email in the morning. I call clients though starting at 8, not any time before. 10 o'clock is gym 3 times a week. Wednesday, 11 to 6, I'm in a meeting, but I'm playing golf. Like, I'm in a meeting, and then yesterday I showed property after golf. I said, you said you were in a meeting. I was, a very important one,
On the course.
On the
Yeah.
course, on the course. And I try to group my drive days, inspection days, or have appointment days to like 2 days a week. And then Sunday, I really, really try not to work. So if I group together a number of hours I work in a week, it's probably, it depends on how you look at it. It could be 40, but it could really be only 20, So I try to be efficient. Working a lot is super great, but you know what? I think it's important to balance out your hobby as well as some stuff for, good health. Because if we're not here, we can't do anybody any good, right? So this is really important. Be good to yourself. No one 20 years, later is going to say, oh my gosh, you sacrifice so much for your family, so much for your clients, so much for your career. Thank you so much, when you're like this, right? No one's going to appreciate that. It's like you have to be the first person to know who you are, appreciate who you are, and be good to you. Take care of yourself, treat yourself first. Because again, if you're not good to yourself, you can't be good for anybody else. And I practice that. I do whatever I can to take time out,
Awesome. Now, do you do any farming, anything like that?
My farming is right here. I don't have, this is my farming, okay? It's really, it goes back to doing a great job when you're in front of them. And I try to, I do try to remember if I find out when their anniversary is or birthday, I send them a text or give them a call, I do try to put personal touches. Like when I occasionally do go see a client who's sick or whatever, I don't just pick a bouquet out of the bucket. I actually go to Trader Joe's, buy flowers, make it, and I enjoy doing that. And then you know what? They know that you care. They know that this is not just a business call, right? That you're there because you truly care about them. And I think that makes a big difference in the end.
When I first came on board with Tiffany, she was amongst the first to, or maybe the first, to invite me out to dinner to get to know me personally. And I thought that was great. So we went to Drake's over in Laguna. It was awesome.
Yeah.
So thank you. Okay, so what is your average sale price?
I don't know.
Carrie, is it like
Yeah.
1.5?
No, it's probably like,
Oh, yeah.
but average probably is like 1.1 nowadays, right? Yeah.
And so your clients over the years have progressed forward, or
course.
they've,
Right.
gone up in income levels and whatnot.
Mhm.
Okay. So marketing and branding, what do you do for marketing and branding? Do you have any specialized branding that you put out? Any specialized presentation that you're putting out? You're a handshake and a smack in the butt, or?
Yeah, you know what? I wish I were an agent that has a 1 to 10 presentation manual, one that says, okay, on Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, I spend 5 hours and I walk the neighborhood and knock on doors. I honestly don't do any of those things. I just, again, what I do works for me doesn't mean it works for everybody. But I think one thing that you can take away from what I do is you get one chance to impress that client in front of you. Don't ever wing it. Be prepared. Don't go like, oh, I just came from the beach, like, if you don't know them, and like completely unprepared, unprofessional looking. Even this day and age, what you see in front of you is going to make that determination right off the bat. You should be polished. You should look like a professional that they can trust, you with their biggest asset. Be prepared.
Clearly, she's very genuine in her communication, and so that shows a lot. Okay, so how about social media? Anything with social media?
No, I don't do social media. So you know what? I guess over the 36 years, I've learned some things, and I know intimately what my strengths are. So I had a referral client 2 days ago, Fountain Valley, because I don't know what to do here, and so I just started talking to her. It was like I had the time. I started talking to her. As I'm talking to her, do I even know her property address? She texted it to me. I have nothing prepared, but I knew exactly where I need to go to get this listing. So I said, Jill, I'm talking to you now. You're probably 15, 20 minutes away from me. Can I just come and see you? So I got in the car. As I'm driving and I'm talking about the process of exactly what I do, the thing that you have to decide by the time we're done today is, am I the right person for you? And if I am, deciding on the list price is easy. That's not our goal today. I just want you to meet me and like me and trust me. So I did that. So within, I had nothing with me. Within, I would say, hour and 20 minutes, she says, great. I said, okay, I'll send you a DocuSign. And I did, signed. And I'm gonna make her a little flow chart to go forward. I don't know that everybody can necessarily or should do that, right? Because a lot of agents do go with a professional presentation book because it's competitive, right? But I think the most important thing that you just cannot deviate from is when you show up, it's your confidence, positivity, because I think by and large, even as technical as we are today and as internet driven as we are, selling home is still a very personal business. Okay. I believe we're always going to be in business. So be on point, be sharp, be confident, and know your stuff cold, backwards and forwards. Know that contract. Don't do the, oh, I don't know what the continuation clause means or like what liquidated damage means. Like, you really have to know what the contract is. And anybody that is lazy with it, I guarantee you, you're going to have a question from a seller or a buyer, and you're going to go, well, I'm not so sure. You think clients don't pick up on that? They do. So invest in the time to know the contracts, know the industry standards, know good practices backwards and forwards. And you know what? To this day, I have a lot of questions. I ask at least 5 each week to carry. Do I not?
Yeah.
Okay. If I'm not sure, I'm going to ask. I'm not going to wing it. I'm going to ask. Okay.
Yes, obviously, the way that you operate your business is very unconventional.
Very, very unconventional.
Goes
I
against
would
everything
say.
I've been teaching in the classes
Right.
on a weekly basis. But this is a very genuine way. This is like, a very natural way of doing business. And all of you are going to have to find your little niche and your approach and what's going to work. It could be the presentation. It could not be, just like, what she's saying. So how often are you not bringing a presentation to your listing appointments when you're going? Or is it pretty much come sign me up kind of thing?
I'm going to give you a little hint here. So sometimes I do go prepared, but I go really prepared. So when you have a listing appointment that is 2, 3, 4, whatever weeks ahead, I'm going to go prepared. I go as prepared as making a really beautiful glossy bifold flyer with their, front of their property. Of course, I don't know what the inside looks like. I go with something professionally prepared that shows that you were thinking about them. Okay. Because I don't know what realtor presentations look like nowadays. I have no idea. Do you? I mean, do you guys? I don't know what the standard is, but I will have something prepared for that property, for that client. And I mean, there were days when I used to have seller nest sheets in there, but that seemed in some ways pointless because we haven't even decided, on the list price. So again, I do things unconventionally, and again, it doesn't mean it's right for everybody, but the thing I want you guys to take away from me is that know your strength and capitalize on it. What Lori does is not right for me. You know?
Differently, but I will tell you that Kim is exactly correct when she says she talks to people. Every time she has a question, sometimes I'm the person that she calls. And
Correct.
it's like iron sharpens iron, and she's constantly wanting to learn the best practices, the most important, where our contracts are going, or what do we have to do about this, what do we have to do that. There are times she asks me a question, I'm like, hell if I know. Let's figure this out, right? Or whatever.
I think it's self-audit, you know,
Right.
to not be so comfortable in your position or knowledge that you get lazy. It's always that strive to know more and to be better, makes you a better person. I will say, be loyal to those around you. So what I mean by that is I have, by choice, because the brokers have been really great to me. I have been with the same office for a very long time. I'm grounded. I'm stable. The marriage is good. And I felt so comfortable in a way that when Leo became the owner of our office, it had probably been like a week, maybe. The first time I met him, I was bold enough. I made a decision, and it wasn't really for me. It was for one of the charities that I, volunteer for. I asked him for a very large commitment for a fundraising gala. Did I feel bad doing that or out of place? No, I felt very comfortable doing that because I felt like you're here now, but I'm here not just for Leo taking over. I'm here for the years of continued loyalty. Okay, so I felt good about that. I have worked with Stephanie, with a choice home warranty through the years. I followed her wherever she went for, I don't know, 25, 30 years. Okay. I work with Roberta. Like when listing pops up, she automatically sends me my NHD, and which is great. And so there are times I don't use home warranty, for instance, for whatever the ultimate coverage is, which is great. But it's the one time that you need special help. Text Stephanie, I have this situation. My client is really special and dear to me, and your coverage is kind of on the borderline. I need you to make that call. And she always does. So I use up favors, but I am loyal to everybody. And so I can demand that in a way, and I don't feel bad doing so. Because to be successful, you need a small army of people around you that are absolutely cohesive and supportive of you.
Well put. Yeah.
Okay.
My pocketbook hurts still. Just kidding. Okay, so you mentioned Taka for autism.
Mhm.
How much does philanthropy play a role in your business?
Huge in a way, because I work, at this stage of my career, I work really to generate the income to give back. So I do give back large amount of money every year, and I will continue to do so as long as I am working. I feel that education and religion have a huge impact on how a person, should I say, enjoys his or her life. And my ways of giving back is, I have been so fortunate in this industry to be successful, knock on wood, and to generate the compensation that, most people really dream about. And just to say that, great, I'm here, so wonderful, that's really not good enough for me, because you know what? My family came here in 1973 with nothing. My parents borrowed like $250 for plane fare for the whole family. We had absolutely nothing. Okay. So to, fast forward, and my siblings have all grown up. They have wonderful careers. They're amazing people. My parents are still here. It's like, I need to think about what I can do to impact our larger community, right? And so I do serve on the board of an autism organization. I have since 2015. I am also, I don't advertise this, you guys, okay, but I was invited to be a trustee for the UCI Foundation. When they asked me, I thought about it for a couple of months, because I didn't just want to say yes and have it be something on my resume. I'm not interested in that. But for me, to be a woman, to be a minority woman, to be a real estate professional, because let's face it, sometimes the view of our industry is not so glamorous and pretty and positive. And so I have been in this industry only in my career, and for me to be part of an educational organization where trustees get to make the decision for really the entire university I thought, okay, I guess so. But then they go through the vetting process, right? And so then I was voted in. And there are others. I belong to other minority women organizations where we put monies together to support women in business. Okay, so everything that I do, every check that I write is with thought of thank you so much, and like I'm grateful to God, and to say that we do things randomly or that we weren't given the choice or I don't know, whatever thought process one goes through to land on a decision, I try to start with, let me be grateful for not the problems we have, but for what I do have. And you know what? I think that has kept me really steady. I have gone through some really dark times. Okay, you think, oh my God, her life is just so rosy. No, okay. 2015 April, my husband, we were married for 27 years. He had a massive heart attack in the morning, and what for most people turned out to be rushed to the hospital and you come back and you recover, wasn't so for me. So in an hour and 15-minute time frame, my life was upside down, I think. And you know what? Even for somebody who is so strong, it literally redefined everything that I do daily. It was like you can't take anything for granted. Every day is a gift, right? And the onus, the task of like, I have 3 kids still that I have to take care of. I got to be mom and dad, right? So all those things, you know what? I went through days of crying, not being able to sleep or eat or any of that, the depression, I'm sure. But then I covered it up with going to work so much. Like I was working, right? But behind every person, everybody's life, there are challenges that we sometimes know, the ones that we know and the ones we don't know. And you know what? Instead of dwelling on, I have all these issues, like, oh my gosh, well, whatever, let us concentrate on the opportunities ahead of us, okay? You cannot drive the car forward to your destination if you're looking in the back, your mirror. It's like you're going to get into an accident. So I always try my best to put the sadness or the heaviness or the situations that come up daily, not so much forgetting, but behind me, because I still have to drive forward. Okay. And being part of whatever organization or charity that serves others brings me a great deal of joy, contentment, and purpose. You cannot exist without purpose. So it brings me purpose to go out and get that next listing. I don't think about, am I making 30 grand or 40 grand? I don't think about that. It's like, I have made an endowment commitment of this much and it's a large amount. I'm going to work towards as quickly as I can to fulfill that. And once that's done, then I start on a new project, So, some of the things that I'm interested in are, like UCI has a new autism center they built on Jamboree. So I also like to help the autism organization in Orange County. I also am very much interested in bringing back the Korean culture, language, as well as just knowledge of what Korea is. Because up until this point, Korean immigrants have worked very hard, but not really have had the exposure or the awakening, like other communities. So there is a specific program, Critical Korean Studies at UCI, which I have supported and am supporting. So, my day, getting a listing, I think is like a very small part of my day. My day is full of lots of other things, and some things, like quite very quirky.
Okay, awesome.
Mhm.
All right. So as new agents coming into the
Mhm.
business, or even those that have already been in for a lot of years and want to accomplish another level of their success, do you have any recommendations for that?
Okay, so you analyze your past track record on where was I most successful? Was it that I knocked on doors? Was it that I called all the past clients and reached out for their referrals? Whatever, you have to have data to analyze what you're going to be most successful in, right? So look at your past history of what has brought you most closings and success and repeat it. So by that, I mean, for you to get, maybe you went on 5 listing appointments and got one, it's 20%, right? So for you to get 5 more listings, in a week or 2 weeks or a month time, how many appointments you have to go on. It is a numbers game. I promise you, more properties you go look at, more knowledge you're going to have what's out in the market, right? More appointments you go on, more likelihood that you're going to get that listing or buyer. Do not expect to sit at home because you're not doing anything to get business. You have to be actively engaged and analyze your business to propel it forward.
Great. Anybody have any questions?
I have one for you.
Uh-huh.
With our changing market
Mm-hmm.
listings,
Mm-hmm.
how are you pricing?
Okay, so I am pricing it. I looked at I go into the neighborhood and kind of go within the last, comps that are 120 or 150 or 180 are too old already. I'll go maybe 120 days. And I look at the actives, active under contract pendings. That's the current trend. And then when you also do the solds and one quick CMA, you see a trend. Solds have higher per square foot, okay? The actives are the highest. So I share this with the seller and go, you know what? Based upon the condition of your property, we need to be the top 30, 35% of the available listings on the market. I just had this conversation with the client. I took the listing like a couple of months ago at 1,000,001. And yesterday I said, you know what? My recommendation would be, let's go 1,050,000 because most buyers search in the grading of 50,000, million to 1,050,000 or to 1,000,000 to 1,000,001. We're going to just grab everybody. Going at 1,050,000, you're going to grab everybody from 950 to 1,150. You're going to probably double the number of showings, right? I'm not always right, but the data shows that we need to be very aggressive. Like, do you want to be talking to me about a price reduction in a month? No, not really. I don't either. So you know what? Then I mentioned, I have so many closings in my career. Okay, this is when my stats come out, right? I go, I know what I'm talking about. I need your support. So go talk to your family if you need to. But I would like to go out at 1,050,000. If you tell me otherwise, 1,080,000, he brought 1,080,000. I go, that's not going to do anything really, because really, what are we doing? 20,000 reduction is not really going to impact anything. And those who are searching from 1,000,000 to 1,050,000, you're going to miss the boat. They won't even find you. So 3 hours later, he texted me, we are on board at 1,050,000. We have to price it aggressive. But you know what? To just say, let's go lower without support, without data, without passion, we're not going to get it. So again, know your statistics, know your market. But go for that aggressive. Right now, I'm going for that. I want to be the 35% that goes active or pending.
Very good. Okay, so where do you see the market going for your next 12 months? Are you on track? Do you think it's going to slow down at all? REO is going to come back?
No, I don't think I don't count on that at all.
Yeah.
And even if it did, like, I don't know that I want to work that hard.
That was pretty hard.
And,
Yeah.
and you know what? And I don't know that the compensation would be there either,
Yeah.
right? And so, no, I think every market is great. That's another thing. Sometimes, agents go, oh, the market's turning. And it's just like, I don't know what to do. And whereas I might have had 5 listings, at this time last year, like I only have 1. You have to pivot with the market. And so, yeah, if you're pricing it like it was 6 months ago, you are going to only have 1 listing, or you're going to have one that's just dwindling down and you're just dying. So don't be one of those, Again, think ahead, think about what changes are going on. Actually look at the data of how many properties are coming on the market each day in Orange County or LA County. Who does that? I do. Do it. Find out, where it was 90 to 110, brand new listings in Orange County maybe 4 months ago. Now it's like 140 to 165 every single day. So you know what? There are not 50% more buyers out there. We only have so many buyers and they only make so much money, right? So again, align yourself to recommend, align so that your listing can be one of the ones that go under, pending and then get sold.
Put things in perspective. The REO year, Kim, you were number 2 in
world for Remax?
I was number one.
You were number one.
Mhm.
Sorry. My bad.
Uh-huh.
Correction.
I wasn't sure if it was world or the United States, but she closed 365 transactions that year. That's one a day. Wow.
That's a lot. Yeah.
That's, put it in. So when she said she doesn't want to work that hard, that's what she means.
Well, thank you, Kim, so much for your time. We greatly appreciate every bit of information you gave us. If you guys have no further questions, we'll release her for the day and get on. All right.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, everyone. Have an awesome day. And I hope you guys got some valuable information from her. And feel free to give her a call or text her and see if she has any other info or questions for you or answers for your questions. So thank you.